Hello, hi there, everyone. Brandon here with the Periphery. Um, I am going live here today because I wanted to preview tonight's new episode of our series Homeless. Tonight's episode 6. And okay, so why go live for this episode to preview it? We didn't do it for the others. Well, this one just really stuck out for me because of a few interviews that will be featured in this episode. I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you some clips, some screenshots from this episode, who I talked to, what they had to say. But in summary, this episode was filled with a few individuals who didn't just open up their hearts; they really opened up their soul. And something I've discovered from this series, from interviewing those who live on the streets, is that because of their lot in life, because of what they deal with on a day-to-day basis, they're really more in touch with humanity. Uh, some of them can be, under the influence, and then they're detached and they escape. But when you get them, sober and to open up, you find people who are more genuine and I think in touch with humanity than most you'll meet elsewhere. Um, because they deal with life and death. They deal with needing the basics. And that's what of lacking the basics and yearning for normal life and thinking about death. And so this episode has a lot of that. And it's not that the episode is dark and sad and just makes you feel lousy. It makes you feel grounded and humble and you have a very human experience. So I'm really happy with this episode for the impact that I hope that it has, and I just wanted to walk you through it a little bit. Here it is on Adobe where I've been editing it. It is now exported and it is up on my channel for anyone who wants to go to the live stream. It'll be premiering tonight um, at 7:30 Central Time. So and then once it premieres on the YouTube channel here on the Periphery, it'll then be available, anytime after the premiere. So to walk you through a little bit of the episode, it is called Walls Closing In, and I called it that because in this episode, the the landowner where they live is bringing snow in to encroach upon their tents, and you'll see it here. So there's this pile of snow, and there's their tents, because he's trying to get them out of there. And so the first few people I talked to, we just addressed that simple fact that, hey, we got this huge mountain of snow moving toward you. What are you going to do about that? Volunteers are coming to shovel it out of the way, but it's hard to keep up with bulldozers. So who come at night, by the way. So it's a bit of a terrifying experience for some of these individuals. And and then we get into the challenges of their lives. And right away, I introduce you to the 12-year-old who lives at the camp. And seeing her there and her wanting to be on camera for this one and only time that she was, um, it brings to light all sorts of questions about, uh, should we be calling, oops, should we be calling Child Protective Services? Or is she better off staying with her mom? Why would her mom want her to be in this camp with these people? Um, yeah, it just brings up a lot of really difficult, a lot of difficult questions, and and I think that's really the point of this right here. It's not necessarily to answer the questions, because Child Protective Services already knew about her being at the camp. Um, so then you ask questions about, well, why is there such a hole in our social safety net that would, one, have her be there, and then two, have her remain there? Um, so this one, 1 minute segment of the video is offers a lot of food for thought because it's such a provocative and difficult reality that there's a 12-year-old girl living outside in the cold. This was in late February, early March of last year. But and living with these guys there who, they harassed her right in front of, right on camera. Um, yeah. So yeah, just real disturbing stuff. After that, though, I take an art set that was donated from the community, and I deliver it to Christy. And we met Christy in episode 4, and now she's back in episode 6, and she's in her tent, and I'm giving her this art set, and she's thrilled because she's an artist and she creates to escape or to cope and deal with her difficult life. And then after I give her the art set, she then starts reflecting on her life. I ask her, hey, do you think it's a matter of time until you get a place? And then she talks about waiting in line to get a place, where she's been in recent years, including a psychiatric hospital. She did try to take her own life, and she's at a difficult point right now in her life where she's like having violent thoughts. She's just really struggling. I will say, spoiler alert, that it wasn't long after this where she would leave the camp. Um, Although not under the best of circumstances, which you'll see in a future episode. But in this episode, she at least was, she's inside of her tent and having this chance to vent, to talk to me, um, just about her life and her struggles. She says, one less worry for me. That's when she does her art. She says she gets it out of her head and puts it on canvas. After I talked to her, I talked to Andy and King. It's just sort of a check-in. And then I get into uh, the remainder of the video, which is two more challenging interviews where two more guys talk about, in Navo is the first, and his head is down the whole time. And he talks about the challenges of living there. He gets emotional. He says, I've denied it a couple of times. That's housing. He's denied housing a couple of times. But he talks about his kids. He lost a daughter. And this is when he started to tear up, talking about that. So he just chimes in about the challenges of his life, and I don't mean that in a circumstantial way, which those challenges are obvious. I mean the challenges of his existence. And this is where this episode is so powerful. Um it gets us to reflect on our own existence. Uh, so it's actually quite a gift they give us when they open up their souls like this on camera. And then lastly is Uncle George, and he talks about being in a tent that the bulldozers were pushing snow up near, not against, but getting very close, and that he was ready to die. He said, and it was something. Like, he says, I'm not gonna. When the bulldozers came, he wasn't going to just get out of his tent and run away. What he said he did is he turned on his propane, and he said to me, all it takes is a spark, meaning if there's a spark and the propane tanks explodes, I'll explode, but I'll take them with me. So he was, and I don't doubt anything he says. I don't think he's just trying to talk tough. He would later say in the same conversation, I, I say to him, I'm like, man, that's something. Most people are afraid of death, and you're there facing it down, staring it down. And then he says to me, he gives the line, I've been faced with death plenty of times in my life. And the way he says it's so straight faced, so plain, um, the face with wrinkles from his age and his experience, and um, I would even say wisdom. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but something about that really gets to me when someone is so um, I don't know, um, just I guess courageous in the face of death. Um, I guess maybe through their facing of their mortality and of death, it just it inspires me to consider doing the same with mine, and that's where maybe I get emotional, where I get challenged. Um, yeah, and again, so in that respect, whether it's overcoming a great challenge, whether it's helping us be grateful for even the modest possessions that we have and being in a warm place, or in the case of Uncle George, inspiring us to be courageous in the face of our mortality. And yeah, I don't know. We're so caught up in our day-to-day stuff, the game's on the night. Oh, our relative or my niece or nephew has a play. I'm gonna go watch it, and that's all fantastic stuff, especially the family stuff. It's precious, it's priceless. But folks like Saint, that's a movie, I think. People like Uncle George are, at least when I talk to them in this case, of course they have their own day-to-day stuff to do as well. But in these interviews, they're so yeah, I don't know, so grounded about what it means to be alive and being okay that that's not going to last forever. And that's just not a reality most of us want to think about most of the time. It's too heavy or something. So anyway, this episode has a lot of weight to it. And it's not just depressing and sad. It's grounding, it's impactful. These aren't just hearts to hearts with these individuals, they're spirit to spirits, I would say, not to sound too hokey about it. Or soul to soul. They really open up their souls in this episode. So I hope you can watch tonight. The video premieres at 7:30 Central Time. You'll see it on the channel. So yeah, don't do it for me, and I'm asking, do it for them, give them the attention that they deserve for taking the time to talk to me in such an open way. That was a true gift that they gave to me, and so I want to pass it on. And I think you'll be the better off for watching the episode, because then you too will be in touch with that part of you, and that's such a grounding part, and not just in a way that gets us in touch with, like, our base level needs and what it means to be human, but it helps us reprioritize our life. Like, I better call grandma, right? It gets you to pick up the phone to call an older relative, because you're suddenly considering, um, we're not here forever. So again, hope you can watch tonight and show these folks some love. And yeah, just thanks for being part of this channel, for yeah, making these videos what they are, helping direct them by your feedback, and I look forward to producing more in the near future. So thanks a lot for watching this live stream, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.